People, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. This is the Dear Nigerian Parent series. Dear Nigerian Parent series, episode 7 for February. There are 10 episodes in February, and this is episode 7. Bifong, Funke, how are you? Welcome. Happy New Year. How's the family? Good to have you join me online. Okay? So this is, I don't know if you've seen any previous episode of this. This is the Dear Nigerian Parents series. This series is dedicated to raising one thing every episode that Nigerian parents must stop doing. Things that we as Nigerian parents do that shoot us in the foot and sabotage the efforts we make at parenting, the beautiful efforts we're making at parenting. So this is episode 7 for February. 10 episodes in February, and subsequently we're going to have 5 episodes every week. So today's episode, we're going to take 30 minutes, 40-minute stops on this if you have time. But in the first 10 minutes, we're going to lay the foundation. Dear Nigerian parents, stop avoiding apologies to your children. Stop it. Stop claiming right all the time. Stop shrinking, shying away from apologizing to your children when you have done something wrong. Stop it. Stop it. The way we were raised, our parents never apologized to us. Our parents are still not apologizing to us. Highest they would have done for you as a child, that they've done something wrong. It's clearly they have been in the wrong. They have done something wrong. You say, come here, see your head like your father's own. Come me. Oh yeah, come and take this thing, take these biscuits. It's not an apology. It's not an apology. I'm going to tell you what that does when you batter things in the place of apology. What it does, I don't know if you as a Nigerian parent currently raising children as a Nigerian parent knows, I don't know if you know what that did to you. I don't know if you know, but I'm going to tell you what it does when you batter apology. Instead of apologizing, you give something in its place and take out the apology. Stop it. Stop it. When you apologize, hey Apams, welcome. Let me tell you what happens when you apologize to your children. But before I tell you what happens, let me ask you a question. How do you feel as a person? Forget being a parent. How do you feel as a person when someone does something to you? You know the person is wrong. The person knows he or she is wrong. And they don't apologize. They just keep away for some time so that you forget that they've done something wrong. And then suddenly they come back again and they say, hello, hi, what's up? Like everything is swept under the carpet. But they've done something that probably cost you money, probably cost you your reputation, probably cost you some vital thing, something that is important to you. It could be time, it could be money, it could be tangible products, or it could have cost you a relationship or friendship. And this person doesn't apologize for it. How do you feel as a person, not as a parent? How do you feel, for instance, when a colleague does something that puts you into trouble and then you take the fall, and when you're all away from front of management, you come back, backstage, back into the office, your regular office, and then the person doesn't apologize? How do you feel? When you think about that, I would like you to, for a moment, put your child in your shoes. However you feel as a Nigerian parent, not apologizing to your children, as a Nigerian, as a person, I beg your pardon, however you feel as a person, not being apologized to by people who have done something to you, is exactly how your children feel when you do things wrong and you don't apologize to them. Let's think about the many things that parents think that make them not apologize to their children. First, on top of that list, with starched shoulders like this, they sent that thing to the to the dry cleaner. You know those it's not the professional dry cleaner, no, not that one. The dry cleaner by the roadside that uses starch, that white water starch. That thing, they put correct starch inside, spread it inside harmattan wind to dry it up, and they use coal iron to iron it. That's how this one, number one, that's how it is, with puffed shoulders. Ego. You feel like you're the one, and I'm the parent. I'm not their friend. I'm not their sibling. Why should I apologize to my child? Why? Is it not who's in charge here? That's the first thing. Sometimes they think it. Nigerian parents think it. Other times it is subconscious. Because you feel that you are the one in charge, you should not be apologizing to someone you're superior to someone who is below you. I almost said beneath. Someone who is below you. That's the number one thing. For many Nigerian parents, it's psychological. For others, it's thought about, is mediated. You think about it and you say, why? I don't need to apologize. They should understand. That's number one. Number two, this is closely on the heels with number one. Number two, parents do not apologize because they feel that they are going to lose their authority. Hello, Bella, welcome. Parents do not apologize because they feel they're going to lose their authority. Like, my children are going to start taking me for granted when I say things, and then I come and apologize for it. That means they will say, they will start challenging me. They will not now know who is in charge. It's the same, but it's quite different. They feel like the reign of authority is going to be wrested from them. Their children are going to start challenging them. When they say something, because their children know that they have an opportunity or a likelihood to apologize, they are going to challenge what they are saying to prove them wrong. And many parents want to struggle to hold that reign of authority. To be the person in authority constantly in your home does not require force or struggle. It only requires leading by example, leading with empathy, love, consideration. That would keep the authority permanently in your hands, because your children will see you as a standard, as an example that they will look up to all the time. Another reason why parents feel that they shouldn't apologize to their children is because they feel that others are going to laugh, like, what are they doing? Who is the parent? Who is the consideration to what people would say, what people will think? These things most of the times we don't spend time to think about them, but there are things that happen to us constantly, right? They happen a lot of the times we don't even think, and suddenly we find ourselves constantly doing these things without thought. I'm trying to drop a message on YouTube. Okay, just a second. All right, that's done. Okay. Now, Some parents also do not apologize because they feel that apologizing will make them look weak. Make you look weak, make you look like you don't know what you're doing, because parents are supposed to have been there, done that. And so if you are apologizing, it means you did something wrong. It means you made a mistake. And so they think that when they apologize, that it will make them look like they don't know what they're doing. They're weak. They don't know anything. They don't know. They're not as smart, as intelligent, and as knowledgeable as they are supposed to be, and they don't want to be seen in that light by their children. But guess what? You're not supposed to know everything, I beg your pardon. You're not supposed to know everything. We learn every day. There's so many things that you as a parent right now would not even know, that you will learn from your children. Do you know that with all this grammar and English that I speak every day, I even teach people how to speak, how to pronounce words, how to carry them. My son gets to correct me. I might pronounce a word and he's like, mom. That's not how it's said. I said, who said? Who says? How is it said? And then he would go ahead and tell me the pronunciation. Sometimes when he does that, I know for a fact that that's not the pronunciation. And I'll say, no, let's consult the dictionary. I always have a dictionary on my phone. But other times, I'm like, interesting. Okay, let's see. I don't know. Guess what? Sometimes he's right. With all the English that I speak, I don't know all the English words and how all of them are. Sometimes I'm going to make mistakes. Nobody is above mistake. And so parents have different reasons why they choose not to apologize to their children, but these 5 are the most common. They are the most common. But what happens when you begin to apologize to your children? First thing that you do when you begin to apologize to your children is this: you build strong relationships. You build strong relationships with your children. When you build a strong relationship with your child, it means that you are accepting that we are a team. We can work together. The internet is so bad. The YouTube life has gone offline. Oh, too bad. So it means that you're accepting that you and your children are a team. Your biggest interest is that this should work. That this foundation that you're trying to lay should work. And if each person can play a part in making the foundation work, it's a win-win situation. Apologizing to your children creates that softness, that makes everybody comfortable. Everybody is calm. Everybody feels accepted. And so that's number 1. Number 2 of what apologizing to your children does. The YouTube, it's back on. All right. Number 2 of what it does is it teaches your children valuable lessons. It demonstrates things like humility. I'm not above you. I'm with you. I'm not perfect, right? I'm not perfect. I'm normal, just like you are. That it achieves is it helps to demonstrate empathy. That's the third thing. It helps to demonstrate empathy. I understand. I consider the way you feel about this. I consider your feelings. I consider your emotions. You matter. So it demonstrates humility. It demonstrates empathy. And the third thing, and the most important thing it demonstrates, is respect. That respect you expect from others who have wronged you, that they would come, they respect respect you enough, they respect your feelings enough to come back to you and apologize for something they have done wrong, is the same thing that you accord your children. When you do something wrong, you apologize because you respect them. You respect their feelings. You respect their opinions. You respect their intelligence. These are the things that apologizing demonstrates to your children. So when you apologize also, it shows that you recognize that you have hurt their feelings. And it's like you're saying to them, you matter, you're important, your feelings are valid. It shows you have consideration for their level of understanding, for their level of maturity. Because children have different levels of maturity, which are not sometimes, most times, not up to your maturity as a parent. It shows that you recognize that. You say things like, oh, I'm sorry I scolded you for that the other time. I didn't quite understand that you didn't get what I was trying to tell you. Okay, so look, next time please do it this way, do it that way, do it this way. All right? It shows that you have a consideration for their level of understanding and their level of maturity. Accepting it, when you apologize, it also shows that you accept your responsibility, the responsibility that you are wrong. This thing about our parents, like a lot of that. There was an experience I had with my son. I was teaching him. It was during the lockdown year and the COVID year, with the lockdown for 2020. And we were doing a lot of learning, online learning, and I was teaching him something in English. And the example that he used to express that thing that I taught him was a sentence that he made, saying, I do not know. That was a sentence, something like that. It was a statement in the negative, or I do not know, or I do not understand. Right? And when we were going through the lessons we had learned for the day, and I asked him, so what does this one mean? What do you understand? He said, I do not know. I do not know. I was like, what do you mean you do not know? Like, I've spent so much time. Remember that lockdown period when everybody was like this on teters, under a lot of pressure, right? And it was like, I said, what do you mean you don't understand? But I explained this. I said that this. Now you're telling me you don't know. I said, but Mom, that's the example that I used to. He was already crying. That was my mistake. That was my bad. That was my slack. Most parents say, is that why you're crying? Or you stop crying. Okay, I understand. This is your... That's not an apology. That's not an apology. The right apology is, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't understand. That what you were... That's what I didn't understand. You accept the responsibility for your wrong. I didn't understand that is what you were saying. I'm sorry. Okay, stop crying. Here, what you are acknowledging, you accept responsibility and you're acknowledging that you were wrong. What most parents do in these situations is to bully the child into disregarding their feeling, shutting down that feeling. It's okay. Is that why you're crying? Oh yeah, stop. It's okay is not an apology. Dear Nigerian parents, stop it. Stop it. It is not an apology. An apology is, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I didn't understand. I'm sorry you feel that way. No. You're not sorry they feel that way. They didn't start to feel that way all by themselves. You as a Nigerian parent, did something to make them feel that way. So the right apology is, I'm sorry that I made you cry. I made you feel that way. I'm sorry. Don't push the blame away. Accept it. Take responsibility for it. Full responsibility. When you apologize, one more thing that you do when you apologize to your child is you model behavior. You model behavior. You teach them boundaries. You show them that nobody is above mistake, not even me. I do not know it all. I am not the Almighty. I'm human. I'm your mom. I'm your dad. I accept nobody. It's okay to admit that you don't know it all. It is okay to admit that you have made a mistake. There is nothing wrong. It gives them a foundation for long-term success, because anybody who is willing to accept that they do not know it all, anybody who is willing to accept that they have made a mistake, creates room for learning, creates room for doing better, creates room for superior knowledge to come in. And so, when you fail to accept that you have made a mistake or that you are wrong, you foreclose the opportunity for something, a superior knowledge, a better knowledge, a higher understanding to fall to your lot. You foreclose it. And when you fail to apologize to your children, you're creating a foundation for them to keep repeating this cycle, foreclosing knowledge. So I want you to think. Before I wanted to create a scenario, but then before I create that scenario, let me also say, in modeling behavior that is showing them that nobody is above mistake, one more thing that does is it helps them to understand how the words that they say affect other people, how other people feel, right? That shows that you are teaching them to respect other people's boundaries. We have a lot of people all over the place who don't even understand anything about boundaries. Creating peaceful boundaries that fosters good relationships and good interaction and great communication. Okay, so let me paint a picture. If you are listening and you are a Nigerian parent, for a moment, think about your husband or your wife or your boss or your colleague who has the habit of not apologizing. For parents, just think about imagine you had a wife or a husband who has difficulty apologizing. There are some couples who have experienced that. You have a partner who does not have the habit of apologizing. They do something wrong and then they'll start carrying face. Everybody's angry. Everybody's looking away. They are feeling bad that what they have done, what they did has hurt you. But because they do not have the habit to apologize, they didn't know how. They didn't learn. Guess what? Somebody raised that wife. Somebody raised that husband. Somebody raised that colleague. Somebody raised that boss. Somebody raised that neighbor. Whomever it is that you're experiencing who has the habit of not apologizing, then sometimes some of them, if it's a partner, they say, I don't know how to apologize, so you have to accept me like that. What's that? But guess what? It's someone that raised them. A parent sometime yesterday, in the yesteryears, who never apologized to them for things that were done to them. And so, it messed up their psyche. They understand that there's no point apologizing. They don't even have the words, the vocabulary to form sentences for apologies because they did not get it. And so when they are dealing with you and they are not a boss that can outrightly bully you into accepting that there is no apology coming, they keep silent. They are mute. If they can't bully you, then they're silent. And so you people are going to have silent treatments. Someone has done something wrong. You're hurt. But because they don't know how to apologize, they put you in a corner where you have to endure silent treatment for something that you have. So you're further victimized on top of an initial victimization. Somebody raised them. And if you do not apologize to your children, you are raising that wife, that husband, that boss, that colleague, that neighbor that would wrong people consistently and fail to apologize to them. You raise someone who becomes a man or a woman who is termed mean. Who is termed arrogant and hurty. Because why? Why? Because they do not acknowledge their mistakes. They fail to acknowledge that they have done something wrong. What are the things that we have started to teach children intensely at the foundational level in preschools? 5 magic words. Do you know the 5 magic words as a parent? There's a song. There are 5 magic words. There are 5 magic words. There are 5 magic words that I know. Please, excuse me, sorry, thank you, and the last one, pardon me. Please, excuse me, sorry, thank you, pardon me. Why are they called magic words? They open doors. They bring down emotions. They make people feel calm. They create paths in where there are no paths. They make tempers, reason tempers, crash to rock bottom. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, whoa. You see somebody who's so, say, but I'm sorry. The person said, but I said I'm sorry. You see that thing said softly, very soft, can melt the hardest hearts. If you haven't tried it before, try it today. Try it tomorrow. If you have tried it before, you know exactly what I am saying. You've done something to your... It's not that you should form a habit of making mistakes or doing wrong things and saying you're sorry. No. It is when you have genuinely, inadvertently done something wrong and it's brought to your attention. You say, I'm sorry. Please, may I? And the person looks, because you've used the magic word. But this is focused on this, because on the word I'm sorry, because Nigerian parents are carrying this thing on their heads like a trophy. They are the center of this table, not apologizing to. Why should I apologize? Come here. What's wrong with you? Why are you making that face? Is it because, please go and sit down, or won't you eat? Or yeah, come, or yeah, go and buy ice cream. No, that's not an apology. I said at the beginning, this is battering an apology. When you bat, part of the hugest things, if that's an English word to use, that they do is they never apologize for something they've done wrong. They would do whatever it is that they have done to drag you down, to humiliate you, to beat you down, to abuse you, whatever it is. And when they finish, they go outside, they buy you flowers and buy you a car. The one will cook for you, give you good loving and raunchy sex, but they will not apologize. And so you're teaching your children by not apologizing to them that when they grow up, this is normal behavior. People don't apologize. So it's okay. Someone who doesn't apologize to you respects you and loves you and means you mean the world to them. And so when they're in relationships, when they should start calling out such behaviors, they don't. Because you, as a Nigerian parent, normalized it in their lives. Stop normalizing bad behavior. Stop normalizing abuse. Stop normalizing disrespect. Stop normalizing lack of empathy. How do you stop it? By apologizing to your children when you do something wrong, when you have made a mistake, when you have taken a wrong stance inadvertently. Apologize. You didn't start out doing that thing for which you're apologizing with intention. It means you didn't intentionally do it. It was a mistake. And mistakes are normal. Dear Nigerian parents, stop battering apologies with your children. Stop claiming to be right all the time. Look how it turned out. Look how it turned out. Do you know that some of us, so many of us parents, are still hurting from adverse childhood experiences that our parents never apologized for? Things that they did that hurt us so much, that humiliated us, that traumatized us, which a simple I am sorry I hurt you. I am sorry I wasn't there. I am sorry I didn't listen. I am sorry. Simple I am sorry would have fixed all that trauma. But no, our parents did not apologize. Our parents still do not apologize. Let that not be you, dear Nigerian parent. Stop it. Stop that vicious cycle. It is too vicious for us to continue churning it and turning it. Let's sever the reins of that cycle. We cannot continue to traumatize our children by eliminating this simple word. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Say it. Repeat. I am sorry. Simple. Learn to say it. Bring down your booger shoulder. Don't feel like you're losing authority. Don't feel like you're weak, like you're going to be seen as you don't know what you're doing. Don't feel like your children are going to start challenging you. You have teenagers in your homes that are so angry, like, Mama will never apologize. I have experienced that too. I'm sure you did experience it in your homes. There are few of us parents, presently parents, who did not experience lack of apologies in our homes. There are very few. Very few. We will use halogen lamp and look for them in broad daylight. Dear Nigerian parents, stop it. Stop claiming to be right all the time. You are not right all the time. And that is okay. There's room for learning. There's room for improvement. There's room for superior knowledge. There's room for doing better. Create that room for yourself in your homes. Lay a good foundation for your children and lay better relationships and bonding foundations in your homes. I hope this is something you're going to remember, dear Nigerian parents. So that's it for today. If you are watching this and this has been helpful in one way or the other, please remember that you should share this with as many Nigerian parents as possible. The reason